5 minutes for questions.
Thank you very much. Dr. Woodcock, you had indicated earlier that FDA had not taken a position on this legislation. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And I think you said in your testimony and in response to Mr. Dingell's questions and others, you do agree that the TEA process is not working very well as it relates to sunscreens, correct?
Generally, I believe the monograph process is no longer functioning the way it was intended, and the TEA process is simply a route to get into the monograph process.
Do you consider the TEA process working?
I think if it were coupled with a more functional monograph process, it could work, yes.
Well, how difficult is it to get a more functional monograph process?
Well, as I said, we had a public meeting 2 weeks ago, and we had few really substantive suggestions there, except we should work harder.
Yeah, well, yeah, we all agree on that. But that's why, you know, at least we have a product here, a piece of legislation, because there is genuine concern, and everyone agrees that there's genuine concern.
I share the concern.
And when you have these 8 applications, the earliest of which was submitted in 2002, and you've only responded to 2 of them in 12 years, you know, something's not working.
That's a problem.
So Mr. Waxman now, he pointed out that he was concerned about this advisory committee, and yet you've indicated in your testimony that in non-prescription drugs or in medical devices, you do have an advisory committee that makes recommendations. And of course, we're talking about over-the-counter here. We're not even talking about prescription drugs. This is over-the-counter. And the medical devices, I mean, the artificial knee joints are placed in bodies, and that's recommended by advisory committees. So are you genuinely opposed to the advisory committee part of this legislation and the process that we have set out in this bill?
I am not sure that the process you have set out will be functional. I mean, the problem with the current process is not functioning correctly. And I'm worried that I think there's some good steps here, and we can build on this and perhaps get something that will really work for everyone. But, you know, if you press people too hard on matters of safety where you're exposing much of the population of the United States to something, you know, you need to give them the appropriate time and tools.
Well, I think, you know, I hope that
Someone yield.
I'd be happy to yield.
Is 12 years too much pressing? Is 8 years too much pressing? I don't find it so, and I thank the gentleman for yielding.
Well, I mean, I agree. I mean, I think we all agree this is ridiculous, 12 years.
We all agree. I'm not defending the fact that it's
Right.
taken that long. There are a variety of factors, but that is not appropriate, and this process is not working.
And these ingredients are being used elsewhere. But the commitment that I'm asking for from you and others at FDA is to work with us in a sincere way to improve this process for the health and welfare of the American people, because we know that skin cancer is the most prevalent cancer out there. So you'll make that commitment to me, and we can work with you.
Yes, we would be delighted to work with you, although we would like to reform the whole process of the monographs, because the sunscreens are just a microcosm, of, I said, of a process that has encountered tremendous problems.
Well, we're focused on sunscreen because of the prevalence of skin cancer. And in concluding, I know my time hasn't quite expired yet, but I would like to submit for the record, Mr. Chairman, a letter of support from the American Academy of Dermatology Association.
Without objection.
And with that, I'd yield back the balance of my time.
Chair thanks you, gentlemen.